Want to know why? Ask how. Howard? The humongous. Islam has two faces. One is dark and violent. The other is cheerful and kind. We have an opportunity right now to support the part of Islam, the face of Islam, that is cheerful and kind. The Clarion Project has a petition for a Muslim reform movement. Go online, find the Clarion Project, find the petition, sign it. Support the brighter, lighter, non-violent side of Islam. How did Islam get two faces? In Islam, virtue, propriety, righteousness all depend on your following in the footsteps of Muhammad. But Muhammad was not a prophet like any other prophet on earth. He did not say turn the other cheek. He was not like Jesus. He was not about peaceful contemplation like Buddha. He was a prophet of war, and that's what he called himself, the prophet of war. He commanded 65 military campaigns. He personally led 27 of them. He enjoyed beheadings. He enjoyed assassinations. He enjoyed having people who didn't agree with him killed. In fact, he told the killers that they had done God's work and that God was pleased with them. But there are two faces to Muhammad. Muhammad lived most of his life in his hometown of Mecca. He lived part of his life in a little town 280 miles away, to which he fled, afraid that the folks of Mecca were trying to kill him. He fled to Medina, a tiny little town of 1,000 people. In Medina, he set up a military dictatorship. In Medina, he had a problem. How do you pay your followers? How do you give them something in exchange for following you? And how do you pay off the people who are putting you up as house guests? And the answer from Muhammad was simple. The trade of Mecca, his hometown, was caravans, transport of high-end luxury goods. High-end luxury goods that came from India, that came from China, that came across the Arabian Sea, that landed in Yemen. Yemeni goods like frankincense and myrrh, carrying those goods over 1,000 miles to the Mediterranean area, Damascus and Syria. It was a very high income trade. In fact, it was so rich for Mecca that Muhammad's first wife, who proposed to him when he was 23 and she was 40, was the most successful business person of either gender in the town of Mecca. She made more money than all of the men of Mecca combined, and it is said in Muslim sources she had 80,000 camel caravans. In the days of Muhammad, there was despite the fact that the Arab tribes of the desert, the Hijaz, Saudi Arabia, made war their hobby, according to Maulana A.S.J. Hai, who's one of Muhammad's Muslim biographers, they made a hobby of war, but they prohibited attacking camel caravans, and they prohibited any kind of war or violence during the holy months. Muhammad started to break the taboos. He attacked the camel caravans, and he attacked them during the holy months. And the first group of men, one of the first groups that he sent out on these raids of caravans, carrying treasure back from Damascus, carrying the profits, the money, back from Damascus to Mecca. One of his little bands of merry men decided to make life even more merry by killing all of the Meccans they could get their hands on. Now, you would think that a prophet, when he gets the report of this from a group of 5 or 6 men, would tell them this was the wrong thing to do, especially during the holy month, especially when raiding a caravan, which you traditionally did not raid. Muhammad said just the opposite. He said, you have done the right thing because these people were unbelievers. So it was legitimate to kill unbelievers, which includes you and me, during holy months. It was legitimate to kill unbelievers, despite the fact that there was a prohibition, generally agreed upon, against that killing. So Muhammad was a prophet of war when he lived in Medina, and he lived there for 8 years and conquered 317 square miles of territory per day during those 8 years. But previously he had lived and preached in Mecca. The Muhammad of Mecca preached tolerance. He preached pluralism. He preached getting along with other people. He preached charity, zakat. He preached honesty. He preached nonviolence. So if you are a Muslim and you want to follow diligently in the footsteps of Muhammad, you can pick your Muhammad. One Muhammad is Muhammad the violent. Muhammad who loved exterminating all of the men of a village and taking all of the women as sex slaves. A man who enjoyed sitting there as one person's head was being sawed off after another. And imagine your head being sawed off. You feel the slice of the knife until that knife finally exterminates your life. Muhammad enjoyed seeing that. So there is a group of Muslims who want a reform. They want the kind of reformation in Islam that Martin Luther pulled off in 1517 when he nailed his 95 Theses to the wooden door of the church at Wittenberg. That changed the face of Christianity utterly. It made two Christianities available, Protestant Christianity and Catholic Christianity. Now there's a similar division trying to get started in Islam of the Reformationists who want to stick with the Meccan Muhammad, the Muhammad of peace, tolerance, and pluralism. And there are people like ISIS and all of the killers, like the Berlin truck massacre perpetrator, who want to stick with the warrior Muhammad. The group that is trying to start a reformation to get people to follow the peaceful Muhammad is very small. It is very weak. It is being attacked by its own community. It is being attacked by the Muslim Brotherhood, which gets its funding from Saudi Arabia, and which has announced as its purpose in the United States to get us to destroy our own civilization with our own hands so that Islam can take over and we can be ruled, what few of us are left, by Sharia law. The Muslim Brotherhood is opposing the Reformationists. The Muslim Brotherhood has been cozy with Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, the two people that I voted for. I'm a registered Democrat, you know that. But these people have been conned. The Muslim Student Association, which is another Saudi branch, Saudi-supported branch, Saudi-funded branch of the Muslim Brotherhood, has stopped Asra Nomani and Ayan Ali Hirsi, the two women, or Hirsi Ali, the two women who were at the forefront of this Muslim reformationist movement. We need to support the Muslim reformers. We need to support them for all of their worth. The Muslim Student Association has had petitions signed against them with tons of names of intelligent people who should know better. People from the liberal left intelligentsia, of which I'm more or less, often less, a part. We need to sign the petition that the Clarion Project is offering us to support the Muslim reformers. Right now, there are only 460 signatures. There should be 460,000 signatures. Go to the Clarion Project on Google. Find it. Find its petition. Sign it. Sign it. Support the peaceful face of Islam. This is Howard the Humongous, speaking to you from the future. It's your job and my job to make. Or, by the way, have a happy new year, a fantastic 2017. Or, want to know why? Ask how. And now for the sleazy, slimy, seditious, silly, I think I've found it, off button.